Hello and welcome to this pit stop for Rambo the board game from Everything Epic Games, designed by Chris Batarlis and Samuel W. Bailey. Please note this pit stop is being filmed with prototype components prior to the launch of the Kickstarter campaign on January 23rd, 2018. And while there will be a standy option in the campaign, the standard option will be that you have minis to represent your heroes and the enemies they're in. So what are we doing in Rambo? The players are cooperatively going to be playing as a team representing different heroes who are going to be given a mission. And each individual mission is going to set up the map differently, dictate what enemies you're going to face, dictate what threats are there, what hazards are there, and what your end objective is for this mission. And in this start one, you're attempting to capture Officer Din, who I think appears in the second Rambo movie. On a player's turn, the first thing to do is everyone is going to decide what stance they're going to take from the usually 4 available and what tactics cards to play. Now your stance is going to dictate what you can do on your turn, and there's run, stand, crouch and prone, and you do this before you see what the enemies are going to do on the turn. And once the enemies have activated, then you're going to react with your options within that stance and the tactic card you've chosen. When you run, you push your alert level up. Now when you're in the green, you're okay and the enemies are not generally going to notice you. Once you get up to the yellow and the red, you're going to have to stand in these purple cover spaces. Otherwise, the enemies are going to notice you and start shooting at you when they activate. But going into cover has its own dangers and own hazards, which again will be mission dependent. When you get to the very top, it doesn't matter where you are, the enemies will shoot at you. It's like you're walking through the jungle playing a trombone. Now, while the cost is pushing up your alert when you run, you generally get to move fastest when you're in there and take the most actions using your gear or any special actions, because each of the heroes have got their own abilities, their own starting gear, their individual tactics decks, their own abilities to use for these momentum tokens and little bonuses all the way through. I'm talking about momentum tokens. These are here. There's 5 different types in the game and you collect them depending upon what stance you're on, and you can use them to activate powers, as we'll see going onwards. So when I run, I can move and then I can take 2 actions. The gear I have generally dictates what actions I can take. I can get passive gear like ranger boots and flak jacket, which makes me move quicker and makes Rambo tougher to defeat. He's also got a knife and a shotgun, as well as what stance you choose, dictating how high your alert level goes. Also, what you do dictates how high your alert level goes. So using my knife will push up my alert level much less than my shotgun, but my shotgun can shoot further away, can hit more people and does more damage. So it's a choice you have between charging through quickly and shooting lots of enemies, or trying to stealth through from cover to cover. Now, depending upon the mission, the game will drive you onwards in some way. In this case, there are patrols returning to the area, and the longer you get in the game, the more dangerous it becomes and the more lose conditions you win. In this first one, you capture Officer Din, you're going to get to move on throughout the operation. Generally, an operation is 3 missions long and has a linked story. If you lose, then you get medevaced, I guess, and you get to start again. Each individual character operates slightly different in each of the stances, but generally when you stand, you can still move, you can still take actions, and you'll get a different type of momentum. Now we're talking about momentum, how are we going to do it? For example, if I want to operate Rambo's shotgun, I'm going to have to take an action, but I'm also going to have to spend an ammunition momentum in order to do that. As well as that, if I choose to stand, I'll gain one of these combat momentums, and that means that Rambo can spend them all once and heal himself lots and lots and lots in one go for his special power. Or with co-op here, when she has lots of stealth momentum that she's gathered from her stances, all her attacks when she's in cover become much more powerful and damaging. And as I said, each character uses momentum in individual ways. When you get down to crouch, you can move slightly less, you can definitely take fewer actions, but you get to reset your tactics cards, which is only a very small deck and you have to reset them sometimes. And again, there's individual powers where Ko's going to get more stealth to allow her to generate more damage from her attacks in cover. But Rambo's going to be able to lay a trap next to him, and if an enemy walks into that, it's going to cause them damage. The last space is prone, and as you'd imagine, there's not much you can do from there usually. It increases Rambo's armor, or it decreases your alert level, or Ko can reset more cards. Generally, you can't do actions when in prone, apart from if you're playing as the sniper, who's all set up with his gear and tactics to be able to be in cover and shoot off, including being prone and stay out of the way. The 4th character available is Troutman, and he's a leader, and lots of his actions and his gear and stuff is focused towards helping the other heroes be more useful. I've talked about tactics cards. You're going to choose them again at the very beginning of a round. Again, individual, for example, Rambo can lay more traps, or he's ranger trained, so when he goes into cover on this turn, he doesn't have to roll that hazard dice to see if he's set off a trap set by the enemy. Or he's an enduring warrior who can get more armor this turn and heal himself. When you come over to Co, she can infiltrate and decrease her alert level, or go for a Rain of Fury for a massive attack on this round and increase it. Or she can try and get natural remedies and heal herself. Before each player takes their turn, you're going to turn over cards from the threat deck, and that's going to dictate what happens, and you have to react to that. There are 5 different types of enemies in each of the missions. And the first thing on a deck is it tells you which of those enemies is going to activate. They all have an individual AI card where you go through the 3 steps, it tells you what they're going to do. They also have individual movement stats, how they attack, how many people they attack, what range, their health and their armor. So in this case, the A's, the B's and the C's are going to raise the alarm, have the bodyguards go, and then have a sweeping patrol turn up. Also, it's going to have an effect like lose 1 momentum token or take damage. Now, these are built from smaller decks, and again, it's mission dependent what threat cards you're going to face. They have got variety in them. For example, there's an ambush here, which is going to pop up or raise the alarm near you in the closest cover space. Or this one, a trained combatant. This will only activate E, who is Officer Dim, but he's going to activate twice, and he's going to have boosted attacks. If that comes up when he's in play, it's going to make him much more difficult to defeat. We're talking about doing damage to each other. In combat, damage is automatic apart from being mitigated by armor. There's no dice rolling or drawing cards. When you defeat an enemy, they're removed from the board. When your heroes take damage, they have got a limit they can take, with Rambo being the maximum with 8 and the sniper only being able to take 5. And once they take that much, you put a wounded token over the leftmost unwounded stance, and now Rambo can no longer run in the game. And the next time he takes that amount, he's going to lose stand, and the next time he's going to lose crouch. Generally, if all of your heroes have got 3 wounds, that's going to be the end of that mission for you. Or if one hero gets down to 4 wounds, then again they have to medevac, and that's game over. As well as reacting to the threats that happen and the wounds that you're going to take, you're going to have to unveil the board, because when it's set up, there's fog of war cards on here. And when you move into a new area, you flip it over and it tells you what enemies are going to appear. In this case, we've got a whole bunch of sweeping patrols, and that's a new threat to face. If we do manage to get all the way through here and capture Officer Din, we do then get a reward for having done so, and we get some information as to what's going to happen for the next mission. So we get some new tactics cards and some new gear, and they can get spread out amongst the group, replacing your starting cards as you wish. Now, slight spoiler, if you do capture Officer Din, he might give you some information with regards to some prisoners of war who might appear on the next map in the next mission. And it's possible you might be going through ambushes with the prisoners of war on trucks in order to get them out when you go to the 3rd mission in this first operation. The game is going to come with at least 5 operations with at least 15 missions in there. As I said, you can be a minis option for all of these, and it is on Kickstarter from the 23rd of January 2018. This has been a Game Pit Pit Stop. For more videos like this, check out the Game Pit channel on YouTube, and for more in-depth coverage of gaming, please find the Game Pit podcast.